Listen, you could bet that, you could put it on a ticket, but most of all, just don't bet on yourselves. We right now are going to talk about that scandal. We're going to keep it tight and we're going to get straight into it. As a federal investigation digs a little deeper and make things a little bit more clearer, in the biggest scandal to hit the NBA since Tim Donahue era. If you guys don't remember what that is, please watch that Netflix series. It is very intriguing. There is right now a federal gambling investigation rocking the NBA and tying not only players but also coaches and maybe the La Costa Nostra. Let's see.
Man,
But Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups, Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier, he's a fool. We'll talk about that. And
yeah.
former NBA player as well as assistant coach Damon Jones have all been arrested, charged in connection with two federal indictments involving illegal sport betting and rigging poker games. Chauncey is more connected to the poker games, as Damon Jones and Terry Rozier is connected to a little bit of more the sports gambling. Canty, there's about 30 co-defendants. We've already had a player banned, Jonte Porter from the NBA. Um, what is the integrity of the sport? Not only seeing the NBA, the MLB, the NFL, and other leagues react to just this biggest scandal when it comes to sports gambling.
Well, this is the boogeyman if you're one of those sports league commissioners. So I'm sure that Adam Silver is losing a lot of sleep. But the reality is this, because gambling is so pervasive now, because it's proliferated throughout all of pretty much the entire sports world, there are going to be a lot of people that get involved in it, which invites a lot of unsavory characters and which puts more pressure on people in these key roles within professional sports to get involved with nefarious activities and sketchy characters. When you have a situation where there are ties to organized crime and federal investigation, it's never good. And so I think that um, the reality of where we are with professional sports and the intersection in sports wagering, it's unavoidable. I think the best thing that you can do if you're the league office is maintain a relationship with these sports books, and that way you can cite any abnormalities that may take place and be quick to react to it, as to instill confidence in the public trust that your entertainment product is on the up and up. I think that's the best that you can do when it comes to Chauncey Billups, when it comes to Terry Rozier, when it comes to Damon Jones. All of those guys have peddled in inside information. That's why Cash Patel, director of the FBI, was front and center at the announcement of the charges. It's a big deal. But I think that the NBA and all of these sports leagues as a whole are treating it with the seriousness that it deserves.
Yeah, and I've heard some solutions from other shows. Shout out the Matt Barnes on All the Smoke. He talked about maybe minimizing players that can be utilized in prop bets. One, I would love that because nobody needs to bet on Jonte Porter to get 5 points when he probably won't even play 5 minutes. So we're seeing a lot more of the lower tier guys getting involved in this. Terry, scary Terry, you were good years ago in that one playoff series, but after that, you've been one of those lower tier guys. Do you think making it more of a tighter prop bet system or potentially removing the unders would kind of fix based off what Matt Barnes threw out there on all the smoke?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, first, let's start here. The prop bet market is, and the issue with a lot of these different sports betting markets is that it's regulated from state to state. There is no federal oversight with all of this. So I think that the NBA, Adam Silver, Roger Goodell from the NFL, Gary Bettman with the NHL, Rob Manfred with Major League Baseball, they all need to be proactive in terms of trying to get the federal government to be more involved with an oversight role and have more uniformity in terms of the the infrastructure, the apparatus around sports wagering. So there is that. The other thing that I think we have to acknowledge is that whether it's on the up and up or it's under the table, people are still going to do what they do when it comes to sports wagering. But
Yeah.
before it was legal, folks had a bookie, folks had a guy, folks would do it in the barbershop, folks would do it in the beauty salon. There were different places that people went to bet. It wasn't just at OTB places or at sports books in Vegas.
Yep.
People were finding ways to do this. So when it comes to the prop bet market, I hear you in terms of trying to limit the different opportunities for sports bettors to get involved with. But ultimately, if there is an appetite for it, then there's going to be somebody that's willing to satisfy that. And so I think that the most important thing is being able to create an infrastructure, create an apparatus where you can have full transparency and where these sports books and these sports leagues can be quick to react when there's any sniff, any hint of impropriety.
Now, from somebody that is good for a good parlay and cancer, I'll shoot them to you in a text, and you probably like this guy put like 25 legs on there,
Yeah, you be
but
wilding with the parlays, bro.
I hit,
I love a parlay as good as anybody else. You be wilding with the parlays,
listen,
dog.
in my defense, I win some, I lose some. But I think for me, and just knowing that there's a little bit of integrity issues, I see a lot more of the Leo DiCaprio meme where he's in front of the TV and he's pointing at it. Giannis took 5 steps. Ref
Against the
didn't
Knicks.
call it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like,
Wow.
oh, there you go, there you go. I think there's going to be a lot of that on the consumer side of it, but overall, it makes me now think about old old situations.
Yeah.
David Stearns, he was a different kind of commissioner. I thought he was the. They called Pat Riley the Don. I thought that was David Stern. Adam Silver, he's a different kind of commissioner. I don't think that this wouldn't have happened under David Stern, but I think that this wouldn't have came out under David Stern. Rest his soul. But what do you think on
Wow.
that point? And then we're gonna go to wins and losses.
Um, maybe you're not wrong. Maybe you're not wrong. But we are here. I don't think it serves anybody to say what somebody from a bygone era would or would not have done. And you've seen the jokes like David Stern would force a guy to go away for a couple of years if there was
Mhm.
something sketchy going on and let him come
Uh-huh.
back. We don't
Mhm.
have to throw out names, but we know who the people are we talking about. Um, I'll say this, man. It is a tough job to be a commissioner in these sports leagues because you have so many different people that you have to satisfy: television partners, the advertising partners, the players, the fan bases, the media. It is an impossible job to do well, but I think Adam Silver does it as good as anybody. And so when
Mhm.
it comes to this NBA insider betting scandal, I don't think this is a product of having somebody at the helm as the commissioner's office that's asleep at the wheel or
Yep.
somebody that lacks institutional control. Quite frankly, I think this could have happened to any commissioner in any sports league. It's just the reality of where we're at as a society and where we're at when it comes to the interest around sports, particularly professional sports.
Listen, we're not gonna act like David Stern ain't pops. He gonna be like, shh, don't tell nobody. David Stern would have had you hanging out in Miami somewhere, in Pelican Bay, making sure you don't get caught up in this scandal. You would have been somewhere. Miami with a hoodie on, acting like you cute, one of the things. But we're gonna talk about some of the hype.